All right, so we've got these fires, huh? Raging across LA,
Yeah, since January 7th.
2025.
Yeah.
And it seems like everyone's asking the same question.
Right, right.
Started this crazy inferno.
Yeah. Is it natural? Or is there...
Something more going on.
Yeah, something more suspicious.
We found this interesting analysis video
Yeah.
from First Post on YouTube,
Okay.
exploring all these different theories and controversies.
Interesting.
Let's unpack it together and see
Let's see what we find.
what we can uncover.
It's amazing how fast these fires are spreading.
Yeah.
The First Post report actually highlights the Palisades fire
Oh, really?
as a prime example.
Okay.
So think about this.
Okay.
It ignited on January 7th,
Okay.
and in just 25 minutes,
Wow.
it had already spread to like 200 acres.
25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's honestly kind of terrifying.
It is.
So what could have started these massive blazes?
Right.
The first theory we've got is what they call reignited embers.
Uh-huh.
So apparently there was a smaller fire near Palisades around New Year's Day.
From fireworks.
Yeah, caused by fireworks.
Okay.
Now investigators are looking into whether strong winds
Oh, wow.
could have reignited those like dormant embers,
Interesting.
leading to this wildfire.
It kind of makes sense, but investigating fires like this
Yeah.
is tough.
Yeah, I bet.
Proving this reignited embers theory can be really, really difficult.
I imagine.
Like, literally, the evidence we need
Oh, God.
goes up in smoke.
Oh, right.
You know, to even start figuring out what happened, they have to analyze burn patterns,
I see.
wind conditions,
Oh.
any remaining trace evidence.
Right.
It's like trying to solve a puzzle
Oh,
with half the pieces missing,
oh, no.
and the ones you do have are like burnt to a crisp.
Okay, so that's one theory down.
Yeah,
But could these fires be linked to, like, climate change?
definitely. That's the second theory.
Okay.
Climate change has basically created like a perfect tinderbox
Right.
in Southern California.
Yeah, makes sense.
Now, the region has always been prone to wildfires, but climate change is making things much worse.
Right.
See, Southern California has a history of these droughts,
Okay.
followed by these bursts of heavy rainfall
Interesting.
and this weird weather pattern.
Yeah.
It fuels crazy vegetation growth.
Oh, wow.
And this year, we had the driest winter on record.
Really?
So you've got all this dry vegetation just waiting for a spark.
Like the whole landscape's a tinderbox.
Exactly, a giant tinderbox.
So any little spark could ignite a massive fire.
Yeah.
Speaking of sparks.
Yeah.
Couldn't downed power lines be a culprit?
Possibly.
I mean, LA usually cuts power during strong winds, right?
As a safety precaution.
To prevent fires
Yeah.
from power lines coming into contact with the dry vegetation. But here's where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Some houses near the fires still had power.
Ah.
So could a downed power line,
Maybe. From like falling branches during the wind.
right, have ignited the blaze?
It's possible.
And we can't forget the Santa Ana winds.
Oh, yeah, those winds.
They're so dry and powerful
A small spark could become a huge inferno so quickly.
because of those winds.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But it still doesn't explain everything.
Right. What about arson?
Yeah, what about arson? There's been buzz online, even from celebrities and Elon Musk,
Oh, really?
pointing to suspicious activity.
Interesting.
Yeah,
There's a lot of speculation going around.
actually on social media.
Yeah, Elon Musk actually reshared this video,
What?
supposedly showing someone starting a fire.
Oh, wow.
But we don't know if it's real yet.
Right.
The source and its validity haven't been verified.
It's so easy to jump to conclusions
Yeah,
and spread misinformation.
especially in these situations.
Yeah, it's like a digital wildfire of its own.
Exactly.
But are investigators considering arson as a possibility?
They haven't confirmed it,
Okay.
but they haven't ruled it out either.
So it's still on the table. The challenge is proving it definitively.
Right.
Imagine a crime scene completely ravaged by fire.
Yeah.
The evidence is often destroyed,
Gone.
making it really difficult to find the cause.
It's like trying to piece together a shattered vase
Okay.
that's been thrown into a furnace.
Wow. That's a powerful analogy. So even with all these theories, we might never know for sure
It's possible.
what sparked these fires.
Yeah, fire investigations are really complex.
Yeah.
Especially with so much destruction.
Right.
It's really hard to find conclusive evidence.
Right.
But they're doing their best to piece things together.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So we've talked about possible causes.
Yeah.
But what about the aftermath?
Right.
The first post video showed a really striking image.
Okay.
It was this lone Malibu mansion made of fire-resistant materials,
Interesting.
standing totally unscathed,
Wow.
while all the wooden houses around it
Yeah.
were completely destroyed.
Oh, wow.
It really got me thinking about how we build our homes,
Yeah.
especially in areas prone to fire.
Yeah. You've hit on a really important point.
Yeah.
The choice of building materials
Right.
can make a huge difference in a home's vulnerability to fire.
Right.
Historically, wooden homes have been popular in Los Angeles,
Yeah, I can see why.
largely because of the earthquakes.
Oh, right.
Wood is more flexible than concrete,
Okay,
so it can withstand tremors better.
that makes sense.
But as we're seeing now,
Yeah.
that flexibility comes at a price.
Yeah, when it comes to fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that image of the lone mansion raises a big question.
What's that?
Could this tragedy change building codes in LA?
Oh, interesting.
Will we see more fire-resistant materials in the future?
It's a question a lot of people are asking.
Yeah, especially those who lost their homes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I imagine changing building codes is complicated.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about swapping wood for something else.
Exactly. There's a lot to consider.
Well,
Like what?
cost is a big factor.
Okay.
Fire-resistant materials can be a lot more expensive.
Then wood,
Right. And that cost would probably go to homeowners.
making housing even less affordable.
Exactly. And LA is already struggling with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then there's the aesthetic side.
Right.
LA is known for its beautiful wooden homes.
Often historic, too.
Would people want to sacrifice that look for fire safety?
It's a tough balance.
Yeah, between preserving history and adapting to the climate.
You're right. It's a complex issue.
Yeah. No easy answers.
But maybe this tragedy will spark a conversation.
About what?
Innovative designs that are both functional and beautiful.
Oh, that'd be great.
Maybe we'll see more creative approaches.
Using fire-resistant materials in a way that fits LA's style.
Exactly. Instead of clashing with it.
That's a great point. Shifting gears a bit,
Okay.
I'm curious about the political fallout from these fires.
Yeah.
The first post video mentioned that the fires are like devastating the politics even worse.
What do they mean by that?
Well, California's a very politically charged place.
Yeah, especially LA.
These fires have become a flashpoint for all these debates
Like what kind of debates?
about climate change,
Oh, yeah.
infrastructure,
Mm-hmm.
even immigration.
Okay.
Like those claims about arsonists.
Right.
It's a sensitive situation.
Yeah.
And the fires have gotten caught up in those divisions.
Right. It's like adding fuel to the fire.
Exactly.
That immigrant with a blowtorch video Elon Musk shared.
Yeah.
It shows how fast misinformation spreads
Especially during a crisis.
and how it can be used for agendas.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder to be critical of what we see online.
And to stick to credible sources.
Totally. But are investigators actually considering arson?
Officially, they haven't confirmed it, but they haven't ruled it out either.
So it's still a possibility.
It is attributing the fires to any one cause right now
Yeah.
is premature.
Right.
And could be harmful.
Okay.
The investigation's ongoing. We need to let the experts do their job.
And not jump to conclusions.
Exactly.
Based on speculation and unverified stuff.
Right.
It's like we're dealing with multiple crises at once.
Yeah.
The fires themselves, the
Yeah.
investigation, and then these huge societal debates.
About climate change,
But
building codes.
Oh, this information.
It's a lot to process.
It feels overwhelming.
It shows how interconnected these issues are.
In what way?
The fires are tragic,
Yeah.
but they also highlight the challenges we face.
With climate change.
Right.
Inequality.
And the spread of information.
Throw in false information.
Exactly. It's a complex web.
We need to understand these connections.
To find real solutions.
Where do we go from here?
Right.
What can we do to make a difference?
It's a great question.
It's easy to feel helpless.
I understand. But even small actions can help.
Like what?
We need to stay informed
Okay.
and participate in these conversations.
Yeah.
We can support organizations working on wildfire relief.
And prevention.
Right.
Advocate for policies addressing climate change.
Yep.
And promote sustainable building.
That makes sense.
And be careful about what we share online.
Make sure it's accurate and responsible.
Okay.
It's a reminder that even in this devastation,
Yeah,
we can still do something.
absolutely.
Whether it's donating,
Mm-hmm.
educating ourselves,
Yeah.
or having conversations with friends and family.
Right.
Every action counts.
It's about shifting from helpless to empowered.
I like that.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on the negative,
Right.
we can focus on positive actions.
Exactly. And it's not just individual actions either.
What else?
Communities can come together.
To overcome challenges.
Throughout history, we've seen this.
Like what?
The movements for civil rights,
Okay.
environmental protection, social justice. These were all driven by collective action.
People uniting for a cause.
Exactly. The human spirit is incredibly resilient.
And when we harness that power, we can achieve amazing things.
That's inspiring.
It is.
Hearing you say that gives me hope.
Good.
It's easy to get lost in the doom and gloom.
I know.
But we have the power to make a difference.
We do.
We can learn from this tragedy,
Yeah.
adapt and build a more resilient future.
That's the goal.
It's inspiring to hear that, but I gotta admit, it's still a lot to take in.
I get it, you know? It's easy to feel overwhelmed by how big these issues are.
Right.
But I think the important thing to remember is that every little thing we do can make a difference.
Okay.
When we learn about these issues, when we talk about them, when we support people working on them, it all adds up.
It creates like a ripple effect.
Exactly.
So instead of feeling helpless,
yeah.
we can actually feel empowered to do something.
Right. It's about changing our perspective.
Focusing on what we can do.
Exactly. And it's not just about us as individuals either.
It's not.
No. Think about history.
Oh.
Communities have always come together to overcome tough challenges.
Oh, yeah? You're right.
Like the civil rights movement, environmental protection.
Yeah.
The fight for social justice.
Those are all great examples.
They were all about people uniting.
For a common cause.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the human spirit is incredibly resilient.
Yeah, we've seen that time and time again.
So when we harness that collective power, we can achieve amazing things.
Okay. So as we wrap up this deep dive into these LA fires,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this?
I think for me, it's about thinking critically,
Okay.
especially now with so much information out there.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Whether we're talking about the fires or climate change or social and political issues, we need to really examine the information we're getting.
Not just take everything at face value.
Right. We need to ask questions, we need to challenge assumptions, and be wary of simple answers.
Yeah, because there's often more to the story.
Exactly.
And that's something we always try to do on the deep dives.
Right.
To help our listeners become more informed
More discerning.
so they can make their own decisions.
Exactly, because knowledge is power.
I love that knowledge is power.
When we have knowledge and critical thinking skills, we become better citizens
More engaged in our communities.
and more effective at making the changes we want to see.
Absolutely. Well said.
Mm.
Well, on that note,
Yeah.
we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive.
Okay.
To our listener, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
And remember, keep learning, keep questioning, keep engaging in these important conversations.
The future depends on it.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
Thank you.